Hi, I'm Jonathan Frizz. I'm here with my good friend Roberto Miranda, and the two of us are part of the convening team for the New England Alliance. And Roberto, God has been doing some incredible things over the last year with the Alliance.
Yeah, it's an exciting time, Jonathan. I remember clearly when we were last here, to film, to videotape the first announcement about Restore and Revive, and we still had it just as a project, and we're full of expectation and so on, but didn't realize how much God was going to do and accomplish through that marvelous event. I can say for myself, and I think I speak for you as well, that it surprised and delighted us with just the passion that we saw there, the enthusiasm, the expectancy of what God is doing and is going to be doing in New England, a sense of breakthrough. I know, for example, man of little faith that I am, I wondered at times, well, will people show up on a Monday night, for example, and, in the middle of nowhere? And, just seeing that crowd that night,
Yeah.
and seeing the joy and the enthusiasm and the amazing worship and, the diversity of people that was there, it blew my head off. It was a wonderful time. And I think we all left those 4 days, and before that, the 10 days of prayer, saying, God, can we top this somehow? And so here we are, a year later, reminiscing, and seeing what God did.
And looking forward to this year. It's been amazing the way God has been breathing on this New England Alliance partnership in the last several years. Yeah. And, you and I, we've both been doing this now for a long time. You longer than me.
Many years.
No offense.
No. I just rejoice that I see the effect of the years on you as well. So you have time to catch up on me, don't worry.
They used to call me the young one. That's not so much the case anymore. Yeah. But we've seen just these waves come where there's waves of activity, waves of seasons where it seems like nothing's happening. But I think a consistent building in what God's doing throughout New England, and last year's Restore and Revive gathering was definitely kind of one of those high water marks where we just really saw God moving powerfully, seeing a united expression of the church in New England. So many great partners working together, functioning together. And that's just one of the things that's been happening.
And I think we've grown more ambitious as to the scope of the things that we've been undertaking. I think God has been bringing in new leaders on board, new ways of collaborating. I think some of the things that we have been undertaking this year even, and we can talk a little bit about that later in the conversation, or even now, if you want, about some of the activities that we have undertaken that God has blessed also in extraordinary sorts of ways. Yeah, if you want to use that as an illustration of what God has been doing, I remember when, in my mind, Northfield was just some sort of this distant place that you were talking about in a very visionary sort of way. My mind comes immediately some sort of a snow-covered ground. Years ago, it was winter and you guys were having some sort of prayer meeting there, and Northfield was just a very distant vision, being able to use it, and it was just coming into the collective consciousness. And the terrain that we have crossed during the last few years, and how Northfield has come alive in many ways, and we've been able to enter into that and make use of it for the kingdom. That's just an illustration of the progress that has been made in so many areas.
I think Northfield is in many ways a picture of the church in New England. This incredible legacy, incredible history of the New England church, and yet there's been a season where New England has been cold, and now there seems to be a season of it being reborn. Yeah. And I see those two things as being symbolic of one another.
Yeah.
And I think there's a kind of a reawakening in Northfield, but also a reawakening in the New England church.